Right now, your brain is judging this video silently. Should you stay focused or switch to something easier? That tiny decision repeats thousands of times every day, and it quietly erodes your ability to do meaningful work. But here's the strange part nobody explains clearly. The same system making discipline painful can flip completely. Your brain can actually start craving effort and challenge. Yes, discipline can feel rewarding instead of exhausting. This is not motivation advice or productivity hype. It is a simple principle rooted deeply in neuroscience. Once you understand how your brain calculates effort, you can finally stop fighting yourself every day. Why your brain avoids hard things. Your brain runs on a basic survival equation. It constantly asks one simple question before every action. What reward will I get for this energy? And is that reward worth the effort required? High effort with uncertain rewards triggers hesitation instantly. Low effort with guaranteed pleasure gets immediate approval. This is not laziness or lack of ambition. It is ancient survival code protecting your limited energy. Thousands of years ago, conserving energy meant survival. Food was scarce and effort could be dangerous. Your brain evolved to avoid unnecessary struggle. But modern life changed the environment completely. The modern dopamine trap. Today, everything around you is engineered for instant reward. Apps, snacks, videos, notifications, all target your attention. Entire teams of scientists design these digital experiences. Their goal is simple: trigger effortless pleasure repeatedly. Your brain was never designed for endless stimulation. Yet it now swims inside constant dopamine triggers, and slowly something dangerous begins to happen internally. Your motivation system starts recalibrating itself. At the center sits your brain's motivation engine, a tiny neural cluster called the nucleus accumbens. It runs primarily on one powerful neurotransmitter. That chemical is dopamine. Dopamine doesn't work how you think. Most people think dopamine simply creates pleasure, but neuroscience shows a more interesting reality. Dopamine spikes before the reward actually arrives. It drives anticipation, curiosity, and the urge to seek. That is why endless scrolling feels irresistible sometimes. Every swipe might reveal something interesting or surprising. Your brain floods dopamine during the search itself, not just when you find something rewarding. But too many easy dopamine hits create a problem. Your brain adapts by lowering dopamine receptor sensitivity. Scientists call this process dopamine downregulation, and it changes how motivation feels dramatically. Why discipline starts feeling impossible. When receptors decrease, normal activities feel less stimulating. Reading becomes harder to sustain attention on. Exercise feels heavier than it used to feel. Even meaningful work starts feeling strangely exhausting. You think discipline disappeared from your personality, but the truth is more biological than psychological. Your brain developed a tolerance to stimulation, just like the tolerance created by addictive substances. This is why constant social media users feel drained. Their brains expect instant reward every few seconds. Slow progress tasks cannot compete with that speed. The effort to reward ratio feels completely broken. The power of neuroplasticity. Fortunately, your brain has an incredible ability. It constantly rewires itself through repeated behavior patterns. Every choice strengthens certain neural pathways, while others slowly weaken through neglect. This means your brain is never permanently fixed. It adapts based on what you repeatedly practice. Distraction can become stronger through repetition, but discipline can grow the same way. This is where dopamine detox becomes powerful. Not because dopamine is harmful to your brain, but because overstimulation distorts your reward system. Resetting stimulation restores balance again. What a dopamine detox really does. Despite the name, you are not removing dopamine. You are removing artificial sources flooding your brain. Think of it like lowering brightness on a screen. Suddenly, normal light becomes visible again. When easy dopamine disappears, something fascinating happens. Your brain begins increasing receptor sensitivity again. Small achievements start producing noticeable satisfaction, and effort slowly feels meaningful again. Completing tasks begins creating genuine internal rewards. Finishing workouts produces real mental energy. Focused work creates calm instead of exhaustion. You are not changing yourself, only restoring balance. The difficult transition phase. However, the first few days often feel uncomfortable. Restlessness appears because stimulation suddenly disappears. Your brain expects constant excitement and novelty. Now it must operate at a slower rhythm. Many people quit during this short adjustment period. They interpret discomfort as proof the strategy failed. But that restlessness signals neurological recalibration. Your brain is reorganizing its reward expectations. If you persist long enough, something remarkable happens. Your attention span quietly begins expanding again. Deep focus stops feeling like punishment, and discipline becomes strangely satisfying. The systems that make discipline natural. This philosophy sits at the heart of quiet growth. Real change rarely comes from bursts of motivation. Instead, it comes from small systems repeated consistently. Systems that reshape behavior without constant willpower. Environment design becomes extremely powerful during this stage. Remove easy dopamine sources from immediate reach. Place meaningful activities directly in your path. Make distraction difficult and discipline effortless. For example, keep your phone outside the workspace. Prepare healthy food before hunger appears. Lay out workout clothes the night before. Small environmental shifts quietly guide your behavior. Pleasure versus true satisfaction. Modern life offers endless pleasure but little satisfaction. Pleasure arrives instantly but fades almost immediately. Satisfaction requires effort yet lasts much longer. Your brain craves meaning more than stimulation. When you complete something challenging, your brain celebrates. Dopamine mixes with serotonin and endorphins. The result feels deeper than any notification buzz. It is the chemistry of earned accomplishment. Over time, your brain learns a new association. Effort leads to satisfaction and internal reward. Gradually, discipline stops feeling like resistance. It becomes part of your natural identity. The psychological closed loop. Your brain was never broken or lazy. It was simply trained by modern environments. Algorithms, notifications, and instant entertainment shaped behavior. But training works both directions. Once you recognize this pattern, something changes. You stop blaming motivation or personality. Instead, you redesign the environment around you and guide your brain back toward balance. So try one simple experiment starting today. Identify your strongest source of empty dopamine. Remove it for the next 7 days. Then watch how your brain slowly rewires itself. Because discipline is not forced forever. It grows naturally once your reward system resets. And when effort begins feeling meaningful again, your future starts moving exactly where you intended.